G'day Barney's Guitarist. Here's some stuff for a 6/8 version of Oh the Deep Deep Love of Jesus. It's based a bit off a Tommy Walker arrangement, and here's a few chords, how to play some kind of higher voicings, with some funky strumming to hopefully give you some options. Think of it reasonably around kind of the E minor bar chord, but we're just going to really concentrate on the top few strings. And then the B7 bar chord again, but we'll concentrate on the top three strings or mostly, and add a few little bits and bobs in there. In the second half it drops maybe to some open power or bigger chords, but try this out. Now the other little bit of theory is when you see the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, what that really is an A minor triad with an F sharp in the bass. So if you're not familiar with the minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is also called a half diminished chord, you can just play the A minor triad, particularly if we're just staying to the top few strings. The bass player will hit the F sharp, and the band still is playing that harmony all together. So you see that in about bar 11 of the chart. So here, from the intro, is kind of like an E minor to the B7 for the second half of the second bar, and back to an E minor. Alright, there's that bit. So into the verse. So E minor, add the pinky in there on the A note on the high B string if you want to add some more to it. That little upstroke there, D on F sharp, D chord, but just the three notes, shift it round, and then put your D note, F sharp note in the bass there if you want, or just stay on the D, which could also work as that D there, or even that D there. So G, part of it, but top three strings. Yeah, that's like a D chord down there, moved up to the 7th and 8th frets. D, B7, E minor. Whoops, there's the A minor, which with the F sharp in the bass is like this. So F sharp, second fret, second finger on the 9th fret, on the A string, then the E, 9th fret on the G string, the A, 10th fret on the B string, the C sharp, 8th fret on the high E string. Maybe easy to just grab that A minor, which is the top three strings, which is the same shape as your open D minor down there, moved all the way up to the 8th, 9th and 10th frets for that, to B7, E minor, G, B7, E minor, D, C, now C, D, A minor, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. There's a B7 sus. So put your, there's the third, so stretch that to the 4th. Yeah, just that little bit in there. It's in bar 29. C, D over C, sorry, full bar of C, B7, E minor D, E minor D, G, D, B7, E minor, F sharp, half diminished, B7, E. That kind of thing. So all of those voicings should be pretty easy to stick to on the top there. Now when we got to the second half, that's kind of like bar 22, you would have the option still to, in different times through, maybe to drop down to a big G version and let that just ring out to create some different variation. Maybe the drums go out to the ride cymbal there, so the rhythmic intensity builds from other places in the band, and so we might want to go for more big, long held chords that add to the weight and grunt of the band, the texture, so a bit more distortion. There's a bit on that, not too much. You could add a little bit more to it if you want. So your bar 22, so yeah, the G, then a B7 on D sharp, so you probably just want to play that like, there's a B7 on D sharp, or a B on D, so to E minor, you can play that E5 and let the E ring underneath. Big open D5, leave off the F sharp because we're going for crunch. And even put the A underneath it, the open A string gives more of a grunty feel. C add 9, so that's C, G string, D string, maybe the G on top, but you could even leave that out, so it's just 3 notes. And if you leave out the thirds, then it has more crunch factor to it. Then to the D, A minor, oh, that sounded like A major, didn't it? A minor. Now it's straight away to the F sharp. You could maybe just hit the F sharp note, and then B power chord, let the keys play the sus4 to the third. So, and C. And D over C might work if you don't have too much grid on it, which is like the D, but with the C in the bass there. Or C. Keep that C in the bass, stretch your fingers out and play. That's like a D triad without its bass note, but it's dropped to C. It's quite hard. The bass player will probably just keep the C going under that, well they should. So you could play C, D, there's no bass note under that, back to the C, would also work, and then B. You might go E, because it goes E minor, F sharp, E minor, F sharp on those 4 against 6 hits. But you could play also walking up, was it? Because all of those notes are part of those chords, E, F sharp, G, A. Talk with the bass player and see if you match that together. That could be quite cool. Back to a G, D, B on D sharp, E, F sharp, it's a flat 5, minor 7 flat 5, so E, B minor, E, B7, plays a B power chord, E. So all of those are just bits and pieces, techniques to add crunch and knowing which notes to leave out, which ones to emphasize when you're going for that gutsy stuff. It's mostly the bottom 3 strings to 4 strings, and having a bit of clueiness about how you can add kind of those runs, doubling the bass player, adding to the meat of the feel and the texture in general. Hope that's helpful. Cheers.